I think it's pretty safe to say that Meghan McCain has a pretty sweet deal going there at The View. She shows up, they've done the production, she sits down for an hour, they make fun of her, and then she takes home tons and tons of money and is now one of the most high-profile political commentators in the country. Somehow that's where we've ended up. But apparently the making fun, especially the online variety, has started to take a toll. An exclusive this morning from the Daily Beast says that she's considering moving on from The View. Apparently, according to sources close to the 34-year-old McCain, who is said to make something under $1 million a year on the highly rated daytime program. I do, I make something under $1 million. She is apparently emotionally drained, angry and isolated, feeling like a caged animal, said one McCain intimate, you could have used a different word there, amid a spate of negative publicity. So we have more from this behind the scenes source, but let's just start off with feeling like a caged animal. That's a timely hot take right there.
She went after AOC so hard for comparing these places to concentration camps. Don't compare one thing to another unless it's absolutely the same thing in every possible way. A caged animal, caged.
Analogies are the worst. I don't even know what they're like, but they're
analogies are like caged animals.
Exactly. Now, let's be fair. It's a source that says she said that. We don't know for sure that she actually said that, but we're gonna look at some more of the evidence and decide what is best for her in her career. So much of this negative coverage has appeared on the popular website of the Daily Mail. This is the words of the Daily Beast. That has portrayed her as entitled, unreasonable, manic, and self-obsessed. To be fair, it's not just the Daily Mail that's portrayed her that way. She does it every day. Also, a petulant child, given to crying fits when she's roasted on social media. Now the thing is, look, I disagree with her on virtually everything. I don't think that she belongs on there, and I think that she's entirely riding on the reputation of her father. But the internet is incredibly toxic.
Yes.
And so I totally get that if all those constant attacks, including the ones that I'm literally doing right now, are getting to you, I totally get that, and I do have empathy for her for that.
She, if she leaves, will look back on this later when she doesn't have something and regret it. She will regret it at some point. The sad fact is,
because it's a sweet deal.
She'll come back whenever. She can come back.
Oh, you
whenever.
think?
She could come back whenever.
If she left, they'd have her. But what if they replaced her with another conservative woman?
But there's some place that will have her. I will say that the success of The View right now is due in large part to precisely the conditions that make her feel like a caged animal. And the way that she speaks, doing these utterly unself-aware things. And when
she's described in the article as incredibly self-aware, just a note.
She's aware that she is angry. She's aware that she's frustrated, but to refer to herself as a caged animal, and not just that, to in every potential situation where she could bring up what other people are going through, some kind of sense of empathy. All she does is bring it back to her own personal situation, despite how detached from reality she actually is. However, that is the kind of trash that is successful, that has people watch because they feel bad for her, but more of them hate watch it. And it gets talked about.
Yeah. Let me just read two more quotes. This is from a McCain pal. It's getting to the point where it's not worth the emotional toll every week. If she doesn't stay at The View, she'll find other work. So they apparently agree with you there. And now this is from The View's senior executive producer, Hillary Estee McLaughlin. What happens with Meghan is that because she's so passionate about what she's talking about, and she feels very strongly that she's carrying this mantle for the conservative perspective, and what she wants to talk about is so important to her, I think that's the part that's the most draining for her. Yeah, sure. I think part of what's most draining for her is that she's not a good source for that perspective. She's just not, and she's been on there for a long time. It's not getting better.
Right. What she could do with all of this is research. She could go about understanding the conservative perspective. Because I would more respect someone who is able to actually articulate an argument versus thinking that they're articulating this argument, but rather just saying what they gravitate toward, which is their own personal experience and complaining. And
direct experience with her father, which of course she references all the time.
But
and I have immunity, my dad died of cancer too, so sorry, you can't attack me on that.
Sorry.
Yeah, and look, I get it, sometimes I wanna express an opinion, I don't do it well, and it's frustrating. I don't get paid $1 million though. And I will say, one of my biggest frustrations with her is that I think it's an act to some extent. I think that she's playing a conservative that she's not truly. I really don't think she's that interested in politics, and she's getting paid incredibly well. It's an example of how vapid and shallow political commentary is in this country, unfortunately.
Yep.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.